So, hello everyone. I will now talk about frugal innovation, which I didn't do yesterday. So, my name is still Deborah, and I'm a professor at Sorbonne University, and I'm directing a Master of Innovation Management. First, I would have liked to ask you about frugality, about your definition of something frugal, of what is frugality, and an example of frugal innovation. So it's not possible on video, but take a little time, maybe make pause, or I don't know, to think about that, to think about your own knowledge about frugality. And maybe to think about a frugal innovation that you have learned about or hear about these days. So together we're gonna talk about frugal innovation and about Jugaad, which is the Indian term for the very innovative and very simple idea. In fact, companies may choose a radically different growth path in order to improve their sustainability, to respect the environment, to improve diversity, inclusivity. But also, to be clear, frugal doesn't mean be good. It's not mean it doesn't mean nice. Frugal is also to win more money because it's also to catch more customers. So. It seems to be simple to be frugal, but not all companies can afford frugality, paradoxically. Some of them try, but they only succeed in greenwashing their activities. Frugality is a concept, is the heart of the innovation. So we are going to illustrate frugal innovation in this course with some examples. First, we are going to make an introduction about the concept, and then we are going to talk about the 6 rules of frugal innovation. And then I will give you the assignment for next week. So a radically different growth path. Frugal innovation is a choice that a company may take, and it will change definitely his way of thinking about innovation. So the concept of frugal innovation was born in India, and it lies in the concept of Jugaad. I don't know if I pronounce it well. Jugaad it's an Hindi word, which means innovative solution, improvised, born from intelligence and ingenuity. So it reflects everything that is important in frugality. It's an art, it's more an art than a technique. It's the art of daring in the most disadvantageous conditions. And the pandemic is a good example of the Jugaad because it has permits some very, very interesting frugal innovation. In fact, Jugaad is the art to find the most simple and sustainable solution. So frugal innovation, sustainability is at the core of frugal innovation. But it's not only in India that you can find frugal innovation. You can find it even in France, even in the States, even in every country. But it was born in country where conditions are disadvantageous. So there is a word in Brazil, Jetino, in Kenya, Juakali, in China, Zizuchuangjin. Sorry, again, for the accent. But you see, you need to be frugal when you don't have anything, So maybe it's the disadvantage became an advantage, because when you have nothing, you have to be clever, you have to be simple, you have to be fast, you have to be agile. You cannot afford to be a big machine. So the Jugaad, this art of thinking simply, of coping with the disadvantage, is at the intersection of frugality, but also flexibility, and a third concept that is often forgotten, inclusivity. Do not forget the inclusive part. It is almost the most important, which differentiates the Jugaad from just a low-cost innovation. A low-cost innovation could only be frugal and flexible. The inclusivity part is the essence of the Jugaad. The communities, the poor ones, the bottom of the pyramid ones must be concerned, must be included in the decisions. They are the heart of the ideas and the developments. So inclusivity, the all type of minorities is really the core of Jugaad. So not only to be frugal and simple and flexible and agile, but to be inclusive. And we join we can think about open innovation when you include your customer, when you think about it. In the Jugaad, the customer is the core, but every type of customer, and usually forgotten customers. This is an example of the Jugaad, is the mythical. It's the very low cost, very frugal, biodegradable refrigerator made out of clay. Clay is not a very new material. So the thing was to create a product and a new industrial process with very, very limited education, engineering, limited capital, and flexible thinking. Thinking about the fact that electricity was quite rare and unstable. So you couldn't. It is a product of India. So it was hard to have a regular refrigerator because of the scarce of electricity and its instability. So they decided to use a millennia-old material like clay, which was used by the Egyptians to keep the food fresh and moisturized. And this nice little refrigerator allows communities to have refrigerated produces such as drinks, vegetables, and to keep them longer, and also to have dairy, which is quite difficult when you don't have electricity, and for have dairy for the first time, and all of that in an environmentally friendly fashion. So interestingly, many users of the mythical, which is quite strange, say that food actually tastes better when they are stored in the mythical compared as a regular fridge. Maybe because the regular fridge didn't work so well because of the shortage of powers. But they say that users say that it provides more moisture to the food. It didn't dry it out. So it's, in fact, by making the more simple and simple product, in fact, you make a better one. Sorry. The pandemic was a very good trial for the Jugaad. Jugaad has been very useful during the pandemic. People had to find ways to keep on living in avoiding contacts and in earning very low incomes or no incomes at all. So it was, unfortunately, a good Jugaad exercise to think about inclusive, frugal, flexible solution in a very unusual environment. Very new one. So here is an idea of a milkman, also in India. So it's only an idea. It's not an industrial process, but you can see that the milkman he's on his motorbike, and he has put a small pipe and a funnel arrangement for giving milk by maintaining social distance, and he doesn't have to drop off the motorbike. He can stay on it, and he pour the milk in the funnel, and then the milk goes by the pipe to the recipient, to the customer. So now you can see that the seller is trying to maintain social distance and is providing like a touch-free delivery system. And doing that is also improving his delivery because it doesn't have to get on and off from the motorbike, so he's gaining some time. So it's strange, but by thinking a solution for one problem, social distancing, he has found a solution for another one, time. So Jugaad is the idea. It's a good head start, a brilliant idea in terms of creativity, lateral thinking, ingenuity, and even a good known problem area to start. The Jugaad is really, I have a problem, I don't have anything to solve it, only my brain, only some old materials, and what can I do? But there is a step from the Jugaad to the frugal innovation. To go from Jugaad to frugal innovation, you have to think, you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to take the idea forward to the next level. You have to innovate further to make it sustainable, but in an industrial way. You have to think it from the cost, the process, the performance optimization, and everything parallelly. So in frugal innovation, in fact, it's the industrialization of the Jugaad. So the definition of frugal innovation is a practice, in fact, of rethinking the problem, rethinking every problem, and rethinking existing solutions to come up with more sustainable, more low-cost, more reasonable, more inclusive, more flexible solution. Usually, a frugal innovation has more functions than the existing solution, can be easily manufactured at scale, cost less, concern more customers, and concern more minorities that are often forgotten from a regular industrial process. So frugal innovation, it is about leveraging the limitations in resources like financial, materials, or institutional, and by using a lot of methods and trying to turn these constraints, the lack of resources, into advantages. Here is an example of a frugal innovation in a very amazing way. It's not a milkman on a motorbike. It's Mars orbiter station mission, Mangalyaan, coming from India. And India was the first country with having a Mars orbiter mission to successfully reach Mars. And they use frugality to do it. So it's quite paradoxical, because I don't think that you will have think about space for frugality. So what is funny is that ISRO Mars mission, so the Mangalyaan project, only spend $74 million to reach Mars, whereas the American one, Maven, took 670 million. So it's almost 600 million. 600 million more. And we are talking about million. And what is funny is that the movie Gravity had cost more than a Mangalyaan mission, and it didn't go to Mars, 100 million. So what the ISRO did was to minimize expenses through several innovations. The first one was to use relatively small rockets, very light, 33 pounds compared to the 43 pounds of the Mavens. And the main innovation was to rely on the gravitational force for the orbital movements of the rocket in space, and to optimize it by a precise timing and power to reach closer in each revolution, instead of trying to reach it in the ideal position. So, and spend more time, in fact, in orbit. So they waited for the good time, and they used the gravitational force to be there at the right time, and then to spend less rockets to be put on. So in fact, they use they use the technique into the Gravity movie. So it was more clever. It costed less. They use a lot of project members, but they use project members, but only 14. It was like 150 in the Maven project. So you can see that it's not frugal doesn't mean not technical. It doesn't mean no engineering. No. It means that you have think about it in a very, very different way. You have opened your eyes to a new dimension. So here is the Mangalayan project. So the business model for frugal innovation includes a value proposition, the value creation, and the value capture. So in terms of proposition of value, you can sometimes have like no electricity, an affordable product, a niche product, the inclusion of women empowerment, an easy access, a sustainable product. So you can see that sustainability is at the aim of the business model. The capture value is to make profit on sales, a little profits because it doesn't have to cost a lot, but on a big amount of sales because it includes all the minorities. And you can create values in the model in frugal innovation by as you have seen before, out of the box thinking, using of low cost raw materials such as clay, low cost employees, not because they are bad employees, but because they are employees that usually are not employed but have a lot of ideas, low cost product, simple technologies, local supply chain, local employment. So a lot of ideas to build a business model, a frugal business model. So now we're going to talk about the 6th rule of frugal innovation, and each rule will be enhanced by an example. So the first rule, as you can have guessed yet, was to think and act flexibly. Frugality is flexibility. You have to keep your mind open to be able to respond quickly to unexpected changes, such as a pandemic, but not only that. Unexpected changes can be, like in the example I'm going to show you, can be the way consumers use the product, which is not at all what we expected. And the process to change needs to be fast. In frugality, long-term is not a good term. Long-term plans are dangerous because you have to be ready for unexpected. So here is the example of Haier, the home appliance company. Haier has realized the importance of consumer specificity to create a more suitable product. They realized that so it's Haier in China, that the Chinese were using the washing machine to wash vegetables. It's strange, but it's true. Maybe another company will have choose to create a new washing vegetables machine, but Haier didn't. He took the frugal side of the opportunity, and they decided to create a washing machine with 2 types of pipe, one bigger than the other one, the bigger pipe for the vegetables and the bigger part for the clothes, and the little pipe for the vegetables, so that the vegetables won't go in the pipe. So you have the same washing machine and you can choose which pipe will be used. So instead of trying to sell 2 products, they respect their customers and they respect their need to have a useful machine and not to have the money to have 2 machines. So they make it more frugal. And now it's a washing clothes and vegetable machine. So you have to be flexible to do that. Second of all, keep it simple. frugal lies in simplicity. The aim is not to create the perfect product, is to create a good enough product solution, easy to use and to maintain, satisfying a wider audience, more affordable, more sustainable. And with all that, even the good enough product is the better one, So here is an example of General Electric and the V-Scan, which is a portable ultrasound machine, compact, easy to use as a cell phone. So everybody in the world can use a cell phone, but not everyone can use a scan. But this one is very easily transported in every remote area, easy to use, even for non-initiated person, even for non-medical person. It's simple, it's light, it's cheap. There's no maintenance. Usually we could have think that GE will have built a more big machine with a lot of options in order to make people pay more, because if they make a portable V-Scan, it would be like very expensive. It will have a lot of options and like a new iPhone. But no, they decided to make it very, very simple, only 4 buttons, ready to use for everyone, very cheap, and they sell it a lot. So everything is possible, even if General Electric is doing it. Include the margin, so include the minority, recognizing the diversity of consumer needs in emerging marketing. Don't think that what happened in Western rich country happened everywhere, and even in Western rich country, don't think that every consumer has the same needs. Every consumer wants to reach the top of the pyramid. No, people have specific needs, and it's refusing to deal only with the majorities, only with the power to pay, including the marginal groups in the reflection to co-create value as an open innovation, creating an inclusive work culture. In fact, also, here is an example. It's an app, Pay Near Me, for the 24% of Americans without debit or credit card. So it's almost like a transfer fund, but without an account. You only have to make a little deposit, and you don't have to have a debit or a credit card, which is quite an astonishment for me. 1 of 4 Americans doesn't have debit or credit card. So it's a company that includes those people who cannot afford to have credit card, but but they need to pay, and they include them they make a product for them. So including the margin. Follow your heart. Frugal is gut innovation. It's the relying on your gut intelligence, on your empathy, on your feelings. Here is the example of Big Bazaar. It's an Indian retail store who was created without any management or marketing study, only the feeling from its creator that Indian people wanted to feel, didn't like retail store, Western retail store, clear and I don't know, like you can see them. People wanted to feel like in a bazaar, in a retail store, like to feel the smell, the chaos, and the debating about price and so on. They didn't try to replicate Western modern of retail. They follow their heart, and it became the largest retail chain in India. So it was a success. Follow your gut. Do more with less. That's the point. The point here, you can enhance on the sustainability, because the aim is to optimize the use of scarce resources while delivering high value to more customers. So you don't you take into account that the resources are scarce, but you deal with it. You avoid reinventing the wheel. You reuse old technology like clay, networks, local chain supplies, and you being sustainable in every way. Even a company like PepsiCo, try it. In fact, PepsiCo, you have to, they use a lot of water to make the Pepsi, and they decided, and there is water shortage in India, in some part of India, and they decided to become water positive. So they couldn't reduce the amount of water they used to produce Pepsi, but what they could do is help farmer to spend less water in cultivating the rice. So they have decided to help the farmer to spend less water while cultivating this rice with the use of the technique of direct sowing, which is a type of sowing we use less letter than the regular one. It's a very old type, and it's amazing that in 1 year it had saved 7 billion liters of water, and now Pepsi is water positive in India. Its activities spend less water than they make it gain from the farmer. So it could be the same everywhere when you think about it. And last but not least, you have to seek opportunities even in adversities. You have to transform adversity into an opportunity to innovate, to bring value to an organization or a community. In fact, you have to see the glass half full instead of half empty. An example here is the Suzlon wind power company in India. At the beginning, Tenti, the creator of Suzlon, wanted to create a textile manufacturer in India, but he was confronted with the lack of electricity and the shortage of electricity. So he thought about using power groups, but power groups needed fuel or gas and were also in shortages. So he decided for wind power. So he decided to use wind power to make a textile manufacturer. Wind power is very abundant in India and everywhere, in fact. And by thinking about using wind power, he began to build wind power things. I don't know the term, sorry. And he forgot about textile, and he became the 5th provider of wind power in the world. So adversity leads to an opportunity and leads to become a giant in the energy department. So I hope that you have seen that frugality is the future of innovation in a very adverse world. I don't think that I don't say that it's the future of every innovation, but as the environment does not improve a lot, I think that frugality is the only way every country could keep on going while innovating, while answering the needs of consumers, while taking into account diversity, while being sustainable. So I hope all these examples have triggered your frugal vibe, and you will need it for this assignment, a very, very easy assignment, because for the end of these courses, you have to make a project. So in order to do that for next time by groups, next time I will take 5 minutes maybe to answer your question about frugality and about the video. Don't hesitate to watch it again because I'm speaking quite fast. So for the next time with your constituted groups, maybe in 5 minutes, I don't know, you have to answer 3 questions. First, it's a very personal question, but you have to be to agree in your group. What is the most important innovation in the 21st century? I say 21st, not 21st century. Then I would like you to think about the domain where you would like to innovate for your project. And then I would like you to think about an idea of frugal or open innovation, or and open innovation, maybe to solve a problem you have already or always wanted to solve. Maybe you have all ideas from I don't know where. Or if you don't have any idea, maybe take an existing innovation and add frugality to it. Maybe something you think about an innovation and you say, oh, it could be more frugal. So these three questions. So I don't need an expose of only 5 minutes talking about that. It could be. It is a good starting point for your project. So be pragmatic, be simple, obviously be frugal, be sustainable, be inclusive, and I enjoy. I'm glad. Sorry, I'm glad to see you next week. Bye bye.